Hi YouTube, tonight it is Lindy and Dusty in our Bougie apartment. Happy International Labor Day to everyone. Because of the holiday, I had off this weekend and I did some shopping, and that inspired me to make this video about things that are really cheap in China. I'm going to be focusing on more brick and mortar store stuff or service stuff instead of online. There is Taobao here, which is basically Chinese Amazon.com, and you can find a lot of cheap stuff on there, but I've heard horror stories where the picture is not the thing you get, and yeah, we're just not gonna go there. So yeah, stuff, hey, don't bite. So stuff that's cheap. Please understand that China is the most populated country in the world. That being said, if it's a service, it's gonna be cheap because there's a lot of people to do it. There's a lot of competition, especially if it's unskilled labor. By my house, when I walk my dog every morning, there's a whole bunch of guys that stand on the street corner and they're looking for work. If you need help moving, they'll help you. If you need help with building, they'll help you. Installation, they'll help you. They're just there. And I hired one when I moved to this apartment, and it was a little more than $7 for him to help me drag all my stuff over. He had a little motorcycle cart. We just threw everything in there and moved it. And I do live on the 4th floor here, and there's no elevator. He helped me drag everything up the stairs. And he did a really good job, and I thought that was a lot cheaper than it was in the States. I've never hired somebody in the States to move, but I imagine that would be ridiculous. Also, there's women that'll hang out there that are looking for work, and they'll help you clean your house. Last year I hired one because I'd broken my foot and I hadn't really had a chance to clean because I couldn't move around. And for $13, she was there for about 3 hours. She cleaned, she made my house look like something out of a magazine. And I know that's cheaper than it is in the States because my parents have a cleaning lady in the States and she's like 20 bucks an hour. So yeah, cleaning on a budget here. They also have other beauty stuff. I don't really get my nails done anymore because I have animals and just poop. Yeah, ew. But when I did get my nails done, it was like $30 to get the fakes put on, to get everything all buffed down, and then to decorate the fakes with whatever I picked out of the book. And I know in the States that's ridiculous. No, you're not going to get that done for 30 bucks. You might get like a basic manicure for 30 bucks, like no fakes, no anything fancy. Something I do on a fairly regular basis is get a massage, and that's $7 and change for an hour, and they know what they're doing. I've had something where it was like, oh my god, it hurts, I can't move my head. They worked for an hour and I was fine, so that's a good deal. In the States, it was $75 plus tip to go get a sports massage, and here you don't tip. You don't tip at restaurants, you don't tip for massages, you don't tip at restaurants, I think I said that. You don't tip in taxis, so that is just not a thing they do, and that'll save money too. And other service stuff, I guess, if you wanted childcare, that's pretty cheap. If you want them to actually teach your kids stuff, that's going to be more. But if you just want somebody to watch the kids, I'm sure you could get that pretty cheap for like 40 or 50 kwai for an hour. And other stuff, since I don't have kids that I know more about, is pet stuff. I have 3 hedgehogs and a dog. For the hedgehog, I know in the States to buy an African pygmy, that's going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $150 to $200 on average. If you want special colors, it's probably going to be more. My one was 40 kwai, and yeah, that's a little less than $7. So yeah, that's a good deal. And there are these guys that sell animals on the side of the road, and you can get a kitten for like 30 kwai. You can get a puppy for less than 100, I guess, depending on what you want. A hamster is like 10 kwai, so like $1 and change. So animals here, if you're not super fussy about the breed, are really cheap. My greyhound, I had to pay $1,000 for his adoption fee, and he came from another province, so I had to pay for a train ride for him. He was 1,000 kwai, and people will ask me all the time, how much was the dog? And I say 1,000, and they're just like, Tai Gui La! Like, that's really expensive, but yeah, he's worth it. He's awesome. Well, we're talking about my dog. When I got him, I had to get him vaccinated, and it was about $50 to get his rabies shot, to get him dewormed, and then they put this stuff on his back that smelled really bad, and I couldn't give him a bath for 10 days. Yeah, 50 bucks. In the States, that would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of a few hundred. And also at pet stores and at the vets here, they offer boarding. I've had to board my pets when I went to Xi'an to pick up my mom, and if I ever go somewhere, I'll have to board them. For a dog, it's gonna be somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 to 70 kwai per day. For the hedgehogs, they charged me 20 kwai per hedgehog per day. So to board all these animals, it was a little under $20 a day. And I know in the States that can be at the dog kennel $20 a day, like for one animal. So yeah, boarding here is cheap. As for the food, if you get the good quality stuff, it's gonna run you about the same as it would be in the States, possibly more. There is the cheap stuff, but I want my babies to live for a long time, so I don't buy that. I would not recommend buying cheap pet food and cheap toys. Food for me, I'll buy cheap stuff. And if you're gonna go to restaurants, if you go to a Chinese restaurant, it's gonna be cheap. If you go to Hot Pot, that's maybe like $20 if you go with some friends and you're getting whatever you want. If you go with just one or two people and you're eating sparingly, that's maybe $7 or $8 for a meal. If I would just stop in a restaurant for some mapo tofu or some rice for lunch, that would maybe be somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 kwai. In the States, they have the $5 lunch, and that's considered a pretty good deal. Here, if somebody said, oh, I spent like 35 kwai on lunch, I'd be, what exactly did you get and where did you go? Because that's really expensive. And if you want to cook at home, stuff is cheap. Again, you're just grouchy. My little crab. Depending on what you get, if you want to cook at home, you can do it pretty cheaply. To get some chicken breast, because I make chicken in my crock pot all the time, you can get like a big bag of chicken, like a couple pounds for under $3, and it's the white meat. No weird surprises. Vegetables, if you want to get like a big, huge, ridiculous bag of potatoes, that'll maybe cost you 50 cents. If you want to get garlic, that's really cheap too. I don't think you can just eat that. There are things that are more expensive though, like beef. I would not recommend that, but it is possible to go to the store and have it be really cheap. And they do have, I thought this is kind of neat, like a clearance section for vegetables and fruits that are maybe a little bruised or kind of going soft, but if you know how a knife works, you can save money that way. And then I guess weird stuff that I didn't expect. As you can see this lovely poster behind me, I do like posters, and I had them shipped from the States, and I wanted to get them framed, and I had a total of 6 frames custom made for me with the framing, with the glass. You can see my door poster over here. Hi, Daryl. That kind of threw them for a loop and made it more expensive, but to get all the custom framing done and then have them come and deliver them and help me hang them up, it was about $120, and I was pleasantly surprised. I know in the States you can pay $120 for one custom frame if it's kind of on the smaller side. So I actually went back there this past weekend because I had more posters, and I had 5 regular sized ones and then one kind of smaller one, and that was maybe like $80, and they're going to come later this week. So yeah, that is some stuff I've noticed about China if you're looking for cheap stuff while you're here. Alright, thanks for watching and have a good day or night. I'll see you later. Bye.